And we say good morning to you. We are broadcasting live at Movement Mortgage again in Boones Creek, right across from Cracker Barrel here in East Tennessee. Again on this beautiful fall, cool. You say beautiful time? Yeah, it's cool, but it's beautiful. Blue skies. And of course, what that does, of course, is make everything look a little bit brighter, even though the leaves are very dull here this year for our fall foliage, rather. But anyway, we're here broadcasting live again. Excuse me, Movement Mortgage, right beside the Cracker Barrel, which is right there. You can see it off camera, but it's right over yonder here in Boones Creek. And so we're broadcasting live. Going to be with you until about 1 o'clock today. Lots to talk about. The World Series. Woo! Me oh my. The bats were hot last night, and the pitching was even hotter. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a few minutes. Also, college football news. Got some stories coming out of Florida and Florida State this morning about the Gators and the Seminoles. They've got two different teams going in two different directions, so we'll talk about that and just a complete top 25 college football breakdown. We've got high school football again coming up in 2 nights as the final week of the regular season here in Northeast Tennessee. Lots at stake, a lot of things, a lot of teams are playing for. Some just trying to get into the playoffs, some trying to get into a home field advantage situation. Again, to take the top 4 out of each region. Top 2 are at home, 3 and 4 will travel. So that's what you are playing for, and some have already been decided. Some will be decided down to the final play of the game for the Friday night game. So it's going to warm up a little bit between now and Friday, but Friday night should be much more like football weather because the last 3 or 4 weeks been very, very warm here in the hills of East Tennessee. So Friday night a little bit more conducive to high school football Friday night. Before we get started, I must do what I feel like I've got to do, and don't always do this unless it's a special occasion. But as I put out last night on my personal Facebook, I'm shocked and saddened. I'm not Greg Salyer, but he's going to be coming up here in a little while. Shocked and saddened would be how I would describe again what I've found out overnight. You know, in any business, I hope yours as well as mine, you run across guys or ladies. They're just pros at what they do, a master at their craft. So was a man by the name of Mike Paget. We lost him yesterday to pancreatic cancer. I had the opportunity to work with Mike at Holston Valley Broadcasting on WKPT. In fact, he was my boss at one point. He was a sales manager way back in the day on the AM side when I was selling radio and doing DB. And then when I went over to TFM, did some love notes and some other jocking over on TFM, worked beside him. Anyway, long story short, this guy was a pro, still is a pro in my book, and so we lost him. And so Mike was one of those guys, when you flipped on that microphone, you flipped on the radio and he flipped on the microphone, he was always up, full of energy. Just, he made listening to radio fun. I mean, he was always upbeat. I know times when he was sick, and so he would flip that mic off, and I remember one time he threw up in the trash can and then flipped that mic back on. You would have never known he was sick. I mean, he always entertained you on the other side of the microphone, which is what you're supposed to do. And he did it, and did it very, very well. So in my humble opinion, there's a lot of good ones out there in this market and certainly all over the country. And I always told him he is more big time than the Tri-Cities. Not that this is bad or wrong, but this guy's big time material, or was. And so he always opted to stay here. And so we, in my humble opinion, and that's what it is, humble opinion, we lost one of the best in Mike Paget. So my thoughts and prayers go out to Angela and his family. And again, I've known him for years. Have not talked to him in the last year or so. Did not even know the man was sick. But I know that when he flipped that microphone on, he was one of the best. And so we lose a very, very talented gentleman in this particular industry. As I said on my Facebook, if you are aspiring to be on-air talent as a DJ, I don't know where you could find him. I don't know where you could go back and get some shows of Mike Paget, listen to him, how he conducted himself on the air and how he just talked and did very, very well at what he did. So Mike Paget, you're going to be sorely, sorely missed, my friend. You're one of the best, and you were a master at your craft, I can tell you that. So for this old cowboy, we lost a good one, I can tell you that. So a good man, in my humble opinion, and my humble opinion as well, a incredible talent behind the microphone here in the Tri-Cities for many, many years. And if you don't know who Mike is, if you ever heard his voice, you go, oh, it's that guy. It's one of those. But a lot of folks know him anyway. He did a lot of remotes. He was not very visible with the public, interacted with folks in remotes. There again, he made a craft of that too, making everybody feel good, everybody feel important. And so it's just a tremendous loss, really. So anyway, Mike Paget, rest in peace, my friend. And again, our prayers go up to your family in a very, very tough time. But we lost a good one, that's for sure. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll jump in and talk about Major League Baseball, the World Series, the Fall Classic. Whoo, as we said. The bats were hot. The pitching was even hotter last night. We're at Mortgage. You can see us right behind here. The brand new, literally, digs here in Boones Creek. They're getting ready to open this thing up full-fledged, I believe, the first of the week. So the big Jeremy Livesey and the folks, and Brittany and McClure, and just met another young lady who's coming on board. So they're gearing up. Of course, they're doing business now. JeremyLivesey.com is where you want to check it out. Coming up later in the show, Greg Salyer comes by to talk more about Major League Baseball. We've got Eric Kistner going to join us. Again, he is the president of the Northeast Tennessee Association of Realtors. So he works very closely with my man, Jeremy Livesey. So he wanted to come by and talk. We'll talk a little sports, sure. Well, this is a sports show. We'll talk a little real estate, find out what's going on in the market. Apparently, it's been a very, very good year. 2017 here in the Tri-Cities market, so we're in Northeast Tennessee. So we'll talk to him a little bit later on the show. And let's see, we got some other folks lined up and ready to go as well. Quick break, we'll come right back. We're at show number 621. We always dedicate our show to the man that hung on the cross. We unashamedly do that. And so we start with the verse of the day here in the book of Isaiah. Says, I have carried you since your birth. I will continue to be with you and sustain you, which means take care of you, of course, even when you have gray hairs. I will always carry you. I will always sustain you. I will always rescue you. Keep your mind focused on me. There's the key. Keep your mind focused on me, and I will keep you in perfect peace. And that, well, this bell, we need to break down and get a new bell. This thing just, I say it every time, and then when I hit it, oh, it was jammed. Anyway, we'll ring the bell. So that's the verse of the day here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Quick break as promised. We'll be right back. We'll jump in and talk about the World Series. Game 2 tonight, but last night was a bon bunna. We'll talk about it from Dodger Stadium next year on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Show number 621, brought to you by Grip Energy Drink. Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic.
Truck Month continues at Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City with unbelievable savings on a selection of over 500 new Chevys to choose from. 17 Silverado Crew Cab All-Star, $11,000 off MSRP. 18 Equinox, $6,000 off MSRP. 18 Trax, $4,500 off MSRP. 23% off 17 Cruisin' Malibu. 25% off 17 Sonic and Spark LS. Shop us online 24/7 and remember our Saturday parts and service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
Phil's Dream Pit, the quest for perfect barbecue. Do you like pulled pork? At Phil's, the pulled pork is cooked low and slow. We cook it all night, but we serve it fast. Our pulled pork is hickory smoked, tender and juicy. We serve the pork either as a sandwich on a bun or platter style with garlic toast. And don't forget to try our pork wings. They taste like a cross between ham and our sweet ribs. It comes as a meal, as an add-on, or part of our meat sampler platters. Pulled pork and pork wings. Just two great reasons to stop by Phil's Dream Pit. Eastern Star exit off I-26, 349-6437. Phil's Dream Pit, the quest for perfect barbecue.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Welcome to the Tom Taylor Sports Show, brought to you by Grip Energy Drink. Don't forget, coming up Friday, we're going to be at Food City on Eastman Road for a Midnight Madness sale. They sell a lot of Grip Energy Drink at Food City, particularly on Eastman Roads. We'll be there again broadcasting live. Of course, you see here on the sidebars our title sponsor of the show, Grip Energy Drink, where they got the root beer. I was chugging down one last night. They got pineapple, they got lemon lime, they got the ultra orange, the sugar-free ultra orange, also the sugar-free pink grapefruit. They've got the regular pink grapefruit. They got some new drinks or new flavors coming out very, very soon. So it's all good at Grip Energy Drink. And again, it's a really, really cool product, and we enjoy it very, very much, and you would too. If you've not tried it, you need to check it out. Again, full of biotin, lots of vitamins, all natural flavors. They don't use pure cane sugar. They use stevia and granular and sugar and stevia, and not pure grain sugar, pure cane sugar. Pure cane sugar that obviously is pretty sweet, and lots of calories come along with that. So we'll talk more about that coming up in just a second. But Grip Energy Drink, very, very good. They're available to all food cities, and of course they're expanding their places where you can purchase Grip Energy drinks. So we'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the show. LA Dodgers took a 1-0 lead in the 2017 World Series with a big 3-1 win last night over the Houston Astros in Game 1. Clayton Kershaw and Dallas Keuchel both worked at a lightning-quick pace. They're locked in a pitcher's duel in the late innings. All 4 runs of Game 1 scored on home runs. In fact, the first pitch of the game, pretty incredible. Chris Taylor for the Dodgers, bottom of the first inning, a very quick 1-0 lead, and with a 444-7 bomb into the outfield, of course, and long into left field, up into the stands, long past the fence, 447 feet away from home plate. 1-0 lead, Chris Taylor and the Los Angeles Dodgers. It was the hottest postseason game in baseball history. Game time temperature at Dodger Stadium at 103 degrees. So it was sweltering, to say the least. And so when you watched the game last night, all those guys, or most of them, had worked themselves up pretty good lather, a lot of sweat. And so it was a hot night. Again, Chris Taylor, again on the first pitch for the Dodgers in the bottom of the first, a 447-foot bomb away from home plate, clearing the left field fence, 1-0 Dodgers. The second straight World Series game, by the way, to begin with a leadoff home run. Dexter Fowler took Corey Kluber deep to start Game 7 of last year's World Series. And so Chris Taylor, his home run is only the 4th Game 1 leadoff home run in World Series history. He did it. Escobar did it for the Royals back in 2015. Pedroia did it for the Red Sox in 2007. And Don Buford did it for the Baltimore Orioles in 1969. Kershaw giving up another home run for the 9th consecutive start in Game 1. Easily the longest such streak of his career. Alex Bregman took him deep in the 4th inning last night. So Kershaw has now allowed 7 home runs in 4 starts this postseason. I don't know who sits around. I guess they got a whole staff that comes up with these stats, but pretty amazing. Alex Bregman is 23 years old, is the youngest American League player to homer in a World Series game since Manny Ramirez did so back in Game 4 of the 1995 World Series. So interesting. They come up with these stats, and when Tom Taylor's at the switch hitter, he's at the right side of the plate, and he spits between pitch 2 and 3. He's the first one to hit a home run since he spit between pitches. I mean, that's how finite and minute the details are for these Major League Baseball historians. But hey, is what it is. Gives us, I guess, stuff to talk about. Kershaw fanned 11 batters in 7 innings. Again, the numbers last night for Clayton Kershaw as the Dodgers win 3-1. Goes 7 innings, 3 runs, a walk, and again, no walks rather, and struck out 11. 7 innings, 3-hit baseball, and again gave up 1 run, the home run to Bregman, and struck out 11, of course, to get the win. Only the 3rd pitcher this season to strike out 10-plus Astros in a game. Furthermore, Kershaw is the first Dodgers pitcher with 10-plus strikeouts in a World Series game since the great Sandy Koufax did it with the Twins and the Dodgers back in the '65 World Series. I remember watching that game. Gosh, I wasn't very old. I can remember watching Sandy Koufax play the Minnesota Twins in the World Series in '65. We just flash back to that. I would have been, not very old. So, anyway, Sandy Koufax striking out 10 Twins in his complete game shutout in Game 7 of the '65 World Series. The last pitcher with 11-plus strikeouts in Game 1 of a World Series, Bob Gibson, back in 1968 when he set the World Series record. Here's some trivia. Who has the most strikeouts in a World Series game? Bob Gibson. St. Louis Cardinals, 17 punch-outs, again in that Game 1 of the World Series, as we said, back in 1968. 68 when they were playing the Detroit Tigers. Justin Turner, fast gaining a reputation being one of the best postseason hitters in baseball history. Turner goes deep again last night. His 4th home run in 9 postseason games for Turner this season. And so he a 6th inning 2-run shot against Keuchel. Taylor drew a 2-out walk as the previous batter to extend the inning, and he got up there and put the hammer on it. And so again, his 4th home run in 9 postseason games for Turner this year. Also, for the Dodgers, after missing the NL Championship Series, the back injury that was bad enough to require an epidural, Dodgers shortstop Corey Seager returned to the lineup in Game 1 and 2, or in Game 1, I should say, and went 2 for 3 with 2 solid singles. So Seager had a nice night last night. A couple of more little tidbits. At 22 years old and 103 days to add to that, Cody Bellinger, the youngest Dodger to ever play in the World Series. How about that? Youngest to play in the World Series for a Dodger, Cody Bellinger, at 22 years old, 22 years and 103 days to be exact. And then the statistical side of things, teams that win Game 1 of the World Series like the Dodgers did have gone on to win the series 64% of the time. Teams that win Game 1 at home, like the Dodgers did, have gone on to win the series 67% of the time. So there's some useless trivia for you. Game 2 tonight, Rich Hill goes to the Dodgers and Justin Verlander for the Astros. Game 2 tonight, then they'll pick back up in Houston 3, 4, and 5. So Game 2 tonight at Dodger Stadium, and it should be a dandy. That's another great pitching matchup. Rich Hill for the Dodgers and Justin Verlander going for the Houston Astros. So that should be another, as they say, bun-up. We'll be tomorrow at Champion Chevrolet in the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City. You can buy a ticket and change your life. You can win a new car or a cash prize for the gala coming up for the MSHA Foundation, Mountain States Foundation Gala coming up in January of next year, 2018. You do not have to be there to win. They're selling tickets again online at mshafoundation.org. They're also selling tickets at Champion Chevrolet. They're $50 tickets. 100% of those $50 goes, every bit of it goes to the Niswonger Children's Hospital. You do not have to be present to win. If you are the grand prize winner, Champion is giving away, handing you the keys to a car that would include your choice of a Chevrolet Traverse, 2018 Chevrolet Traverse, a 2017 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 double cab, or a 2018 Cadillac ATS. You pick the vehicle, they hand you the keys, you drive off, and that's it. There are no catches, there's no lease, it's your car to keep. So really cool. If you don't win that, they're also giving away a second drawing for $2,500 cash, third drawing for $1,500 cash, and a fourth drawing for a $1,000 cash prize. All these, of course, have been given away on the 27th of January in downtown Johnson City at the facility known as the Venue, which is where they're having the gala this year. So, again, it's going to be a great opportunity for you to buy a ticket and change your life. And, again, you don't have to be there. So, obviously, the more tickets you purchase, the better chance you have to win. And so that's going on again on January the 27th. You can stop by now. They've got the tickets at Champion Chevrolet and check them out and pick up some tickets. And, hey, good luck. You can hopefully win either one of those new vehicles or some of those cash prizes on January 27th and not even have to be there. That's even better. So if you can't make it, it'd be great to be there. But if you can't make it, that's okay too. We're live at Movement Mortgage in Boones Creek, right across from the Cracker Barrel brand new digs for Jeremy Livesey and Brittany and McClure and the folks here. Again, go to jeremylivesey.com and check out all that's going on in Movement Mortgage. Jeremy's going to join us coming up here in a little while, so we're very excited about hearing from Jeremy. As we go to the break, let's run down your winners last night in the NBA. Orlando, the Cavaliers, Boston, Indiana, Portland, and the LA Clippers. I read last night where LeBron is kind of weighing in on the political scene now and seems to think, a lot of these guys seem to think because they're the ball players that, they have, I don't know, we all have opinions, I guess. Well, we do. Not that I guess. We all have opinions. It's just, I don't know. When I do this show, I don't get into too much political, very little, if I can help it, because you're not tuning into your political show. You're tuning into your sports show. This is me. I don't care what LeBron thinks. I could care less. Whether his political views line up with mine or not, even if they do, well, you say, well, you just don't want to hear him because you don't like what he does, and you oppose, or any athlete. No, it's not it at all. I'm just not interested in what they've got to say. It's just me. So his political views, you flip on these award shows and they give you you're up there to get an award. Take the award, thank the appropriate people, and go sit down. I don't need a an editorial or a political comment. So anyway, LeBron, I understand, was doing that. So his team won last night. Orlando, the Cavaliers, Boston, Indiana, Portland, and the Clippers got wins. And the National Hockey League, Tampa Bay, the Islanders, the Penguins, Anaheim, Los Angeles, the Montreal Canadiens, Buffalo, the Canucks, I love saying that, the Canucks, the Vancouver Canucks, Columbus and Las Vegas all get wins. The Predators were up 2-0 and lost 3-2 last night on the ice to Calgary. They'll skate tomorrow night in Philadelphia against the Flyers. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Quick break. We'll come right back. We'll take a look at high school football. Tomorrow night, final night of the regular season. Friday night. Jumping ahead of myself. Friday night, the final night of the regular season for 2017. We'll tell you who's playing where and what's going on in high school football next on show number 621, live from Movement Mortgage in Boones Creek here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, brought to you by Grip Energy Drink.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here are the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. We follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Now available, Chick-fil-A, the Crossings of North Johnson City. The Hash Brown Scramble, the first breakfast bowl with Chick-fil-A. The Hash Brown Scramble, a hearty breakfast option made with Chick-fil-A's signature tot-style hash browns. Scrambled eggs, a Monterey Jack and cheddar cheese blend, and a choice of sliced Chick-fil-A nuggets or sausage. Served with jalapeno salsa, the scramble can be enjoyed in a bowl or as a burrito. The Hash Brown Scramble Bowl, 30 grams of protein when made with nuggets. The bowl and burrito start at $3.49. Served until 10:30 every morning, Monday through Saturday. The Hash Brown Scramble or burrito, again at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us live at Movement Mortgage in downtown Boones Creek, right across from the Cracker Barrel. We'll be talking to our buddy Jeremy Livesey coming up here in just a few minutes, and so probably I'll put the headset back on. There you go. Now we can talk to you. So we're live at Movement Mortgage in Boones Creek, right across from the Cracker Barrel. Again, JeremyLivesey.com. Check him out. Jeremy with Livesay, Livesey or Livesay, Livesey.com for spelling purposes. Livesay. JeremyLivesey.com. Check him out. And again, he tells you everything on his website you need to know about Movement Mortgage. You see behind us the really sharp logo, MM. So Brittany's here. McClure's going to join us here in a little while. Maybe Brittany as well. So we're all here again live at Movement Mortgage. Tomorrow will be at Champion Chevrolet. Friday, Food City, Midnight Madness Sale, Food City on Eastman Road in Kingsport. Next Tuesday, we'll be at Cherokee Barbershop. Next Wednesday, back live at Chick-fil-A, our normal Wednesday stop. Next Thursday, we'll be at Champion Chevrolet, so we'll just keep on keeping on. Hard to believe next week, next Wednesday is November the 1st. Our countdown to Christmas as of today, 60 days from today is Christmas. High school football, Region 1 6A. Here are the standings going into Friday night's games. Knox, Farragut, Dobbins Minute tied for the lead at 4-1. Science Hill 4-2. What an incredible job done by Graham Clark and his football team at Dobbins Minute. Come out of the gate, had some really tough early games, had some tough losses. They're 6-3 overall, 4-1 to the conference, and at one point they were just hoping to get into the playoffs. And now, as things have turned out, and this team's lost, this team's won, and by the way things go in a conference race during the course of a regular season, Dobbins Minute's now with a chance to win this thing on Friday night against Jefferson County at Jefferson County. Science Hill 4-2. They're off this week, so their season is over until the playoffs next week. Their open date is this week. Knox Bearden, Hardin Valley 2-3. Jefferson County, Morristown West at 1-4. So right now, Farragut, Dobbins Minute, Science Hill, and either Bearden or Hardin Valley will be in the playoffs next week in 6A football. 5A football, Daniel Boone on top of the leaderboard in the Catbird seat at 5-0. Tennessee High at 4-2. Crockett and Cherokee and Morristown East all at 3-2. Huge games Friday night to determine who's going to go in. You know that Boone and Tennessee High are going to be there. They are guaranteed a playoff spot, but the 3 and 4 seeds are yet to be determined in 5A on Friday night. We'll run down the schedule, who's playing where coming up in a moment. 4A football, pretty well set. 3 out of the 4 are nailed down. Greenville at 5-0. Elizabethton at 4-1. By the way, you can check out the Sean Whitten Coaches Show by going to YouTube. Type in Sean Whitten, SHAWN, and Whitten, WITTEM. Then after that, after Sean Whitten on the YouTube, you can scroll down to the particular show. It'll be, 10/24/17 when we recorded it yesterday with highlights from the big win over Sullivan South, a record-setting win by the Cyclones. And so, or you can go to the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page or TomTaylorSports.com. They are in second place. Greenville, 5-0. Elizabethton 4-1. Sullivan South 4-2. Granger and Sullivan East will be that 4th seed. They'll determine that tomorrow night. I keep saying tomorrow night. Friday night, Granger and Sullivan East at 2-3 in the league. And 3A football, Johnson County at 4-0. West Green and Unicoi County at 3-1. Unicoi County will play at Johnson County Friday night to kind of wrap that one up. So those 3 are definitely in. Then the 4th team will be decided between Chucky Doak and Claiborne. And so they'll decide that Friday night in 3A. 2A, Sullivan North at 4-0, Happy Valley at 2-1, Hampton and South Green at 1-2, and Cosby at 0-3. So there's 5 teams in that region, 4 go. And so right now, for sure, it'll be North and Happy Valley. Well, not even for sure. If Happy Valley loses Friday night, Happy Valley has only 1 loss in the conference, but they lose. Let's see who they're playing. I want to see they're playing. Yeah, they're playing at South Green, a 1-2 team. So that one's a quagmire right there. So Happy Valley loses, it changes everything. North for sure is in the playoffs, Sullivan North. Then Happy Valley, Hampton, and South Green are the 3 teams that are going to be going to the playoffs. But the seeding is yet to be determined. In Region 1, Cloudland, Jellicoe, and Hancock County will be going. Unaka is not eligible for postseason play, so those 3 teams are going for sure in Region 1A. And right now, Cloudland will go in as your number 1 seed. Then you have Jellicoe and Hancock County. Games this Friday night. I told you, big one. Unicoi County at Johnson County. Morristown East and Crockett. Again, Morristown East at 3-2. Crockett at 3-2. Trying to get into the playoffs. Huge game in Jonesboro Friday night for the interim coach, Nick Lingerfeld. Daniel Boone at Cherokee. That could be a trap game for the Trailblazers. They'll be on the road in Rogersville. Boone at 5-1. They're in. Cherokee, they really got to win this game to increase their chances of going to the playoffs. So, or at least getting one of those seeds, 3-4. Tennessee High is off this week, so their season is done. They're sitting in second place at 4-2. Cosby at Hampton, Sunbright at Unaka. Elizabethton will be at Sullivan Central for senior night for the Cougars on Friday night. Greenville at Sullivan East. North Green at Claiborne, Volunteer at Cobb County. As we told you in 6A, big one. Dobbins Minute at Jeff County trying to nail down the conference championship and home field advantage for the Indians of Graham Clark. Knox Beard and Moorestown West. Happy Valley, big ball game at South Green. Big game, it doesn't count in the standings, but it counts in the community. It's the Civil War, Sullivan South at Sullivan North in Bloomingdale on Friday night. And Chucky Doak at West Green, that's a big one as well. That is a real big football game. Chucky Doak at West Green in the Region 1 3A. Chucky Doak at 1-3, West Green at 3-1. But if West Green would happen to slip up and get beat, then it really puts things there into kind of a, as we said, a quagmire as well. Science Hill, Tennessee High, and Hancock County are off this week. Then in Virginia, Holston and Eastside, Rye Cove playing host to J.I. Burton, John Battle at Lehigh, Pike Central at Ridgeview, Twin Springs at Thomas Walker, Union at Abington, and the Gate City Blue Devils home to Wise Central. Castlewood has the night off. We had him here last week when we were doing the show from right here inside Movement Mortgage. Head coach David Strickland, the head soccer coach, girls soccer coach at Science Hill. They're playing today at 5 o'clock against Franklin, who's a very, very talented soccer team. Again, they will take those Lady Rebels on again at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Good luck to the Science Hill Lady Hilltoppers in AAA. In AA, the defending state champ, the Greenville Lady Green Devils, play Covington tonight at 8 o'clock in AA ball. All this is taking place in Murfreesboro at the Siegel Soccer Complex. And then in Single A soccer, you have the Chucky Doak Lady Black Knights taking on McKenzie at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Single elimination. Any of those teams lose, they're out. Of course, we don't want that to happen. We want them to win and come on back up to Northeast Tennessee with a state championship. So Science Hill in AAA playing Franklin at 5 o'clock. Greenville in AA playing Covington at 8 o'clock. And as we said, Chucky Doak, the Lady Black Knights, taking on McKenzie High School at 3 o'clock in Single A. And so good luck to those three ladies teams getting ready for the state tournament today in Murfreesboro. The National Hockey League tonight. Light night on the ice. Calgary skates at St. Louis. Buffalo will be in Columbus to skate against the Blue Jackets. That'll be a light night tonight, obviously, in the National Hockey League. And then the NBA. Let's take a look, see what's going on there tonight. Pretty heavy schedule. Denver at Charlotte. Houston and Philadelphia. The Pistons hosting Minnesota. Cleveland at Brooklyn. Oklahoma City home to Indiana. San Antonio, the Spurs in Miami. Memphis at Dallas. Utah, the Jazz in Phoenix. Golden State, the defending NBA champions, hosting Toronto. And the Los Angeles Lakers will be hosting the Washington Wizards tonight in the NBA. So that's what's going on in the NBA and the National Hockey League. We will take a quick break, come right back. He's here. I want him in the house. He's here. My buddy Jeremy Livesey, JeremyLivesey.com. Again, Movement Mortgage. He'll join us coming up next year as we're live inside Movement Mortgage. Show number 621 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show, brought to you by the good folks at Grip Energy Drink.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE Master Technicians here. With the ratio, goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop. So it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import and Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad-spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. I'm not Jeremy Livesey, but there he is. You better scoot on in there, big guy. Look at that big hole.
We gotta get chummy.
I like it. We're buddies. We're pals. Our knees are knocking, so not from nervousness, but we're just kind of up against each other. But I want to get that MM on the backdrop and Movement Mortgage.
Looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah. When do we officially open, by the way? Or are we open?
We're open for business, but as far as grand opening, I guess, I think we're shooting for the 9th of November.
Awesome.
So we're waiting for some outdoor signage and make it all pretty.
Party, make it all pretty. So, again, for folks out there, of course, we tell them to go to your website, jeremylivesey.com, and go from there. So, tell us about Movement Mortgage. It's unique. It's bringing a new spin to mortgage lending into the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
Basically, we're doing everything the opposite of what the other lenders do. I know a lot of them, once they take the loan application, it goes through processing, goes through other channels before it goes to underwriting, and then that's when you find out whether you have a loan or not. And that can be sometimes a week and a half, 2 weeks. So with us, we send everything to the underwriter first. So the day after you take a loan app, we get their docs and stuff. It goes to an underwriting. Then the underwriter will tell us the additional docs that we needed, which is what the other companies are trying to figure out before it actually goes to underwriting. So instead of trying to read the underwriter's mind, we just let them tell us.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little bit easier for us. So
and you short circuit the system.
Pretty much, and it speeds everything up, and I mean, for us, it just makes it easier because they give us a list of everything we need. So. You okay?
Sorry. I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, whatever you said was good.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, we go. JeremyLivesey.com. So I guess the bottom line is you're going to short circuit the process and speed everything up.
Absolutely.
And that's what folks want. I told you last time I was here last week when I took out a loan for my home. You know, it's been a while, 15, 16 years ago, but it was like a 2-week wait. You know, you wonder. So it has sped up to the point where you can find out how quick with you all.
I mean, our underwriters are done in 6 hours.
6 hours.
So yeah, we can send something down that morning. We'll have it back that afternoon.
And so I'll know if I'm bought at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And actually, about usually either that night or the next morning, we actually get a pre-approval letter from the underwriter. So it ain't like a pre-qual that you get from a loan officer or anything like that. It's actually from the actual underwriter on your file.
Official.
Yeah.
Ready to roll.
Yeah, it's a little stamp and everything.
And see, what's neat about this too, at that point, when you get ready to go purchase a home, then you don't go out and I've seen people do this before in years past. Buddies of mine go out and they go up and down shopping and looking at homes and go, man, I'd like to get that one. Then they go back and find out they're not qualified. They're out of their price range.
Correct.
You'll give them parameters. Here's what you can go buy. Go have at it.
Absolutely.
Yep. See, that's awesome.
Yeah.
JeremyLivesey.com. Again, they're not officially open, but they are open because you're closing loans all the time, right?
Yeah, we got like 23 closings this month. So,
go ahead and hit that bell, please. Thank you. 23 closings,
not
and
too
you're not even
bad.
officially open.
So. Yeah, I said I think we have to go through, I guess, with stuff with the city, with the permits for the sign and getting all that stuff taken care of. But
it's a formality. You're ready.
And I can do about that.
Yeah. It's very nice too. It's right here. It's very easy in, easy out. It's the strip mall, if you will, strip center. That's adjacent to Cracker Barrel here in
Yeah.
Moose Creek. So
Yeah.
come over here and fill out the paperwork, do what you need to do, and then go and get something to eat. Cracker
Some
Barrel.
biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bacon, they know what they're doing, because I get out of the car in the morning,
You can smell it.
it hits you.
Killing you.
Oh my gosh. So we may have a lot of office meetings over there over some biscuits and gravy.
Staff meeting
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
We'll
Moving
lock-
Mortgage, the West Branch, right over there.
Exactly, that's our
Yeah,
annex.
Table 4, annex. There you go. Now, last night you were at a really cool event. I want to plug Young Life.
Yeah.
You were there, and tell me a little bit about that.
Well, they do a lot. We work with Young Life of Kingsport, and they help a lot of the kids who just don't have a church family or don't have any kind of avenue to have a church family or know anything about Christ, and help them go to camp. They have a church service every every other Saturday they do stuff, and then throughout the year they have different events. And it was great to be there last night. We didn't actually get to shake his hand, but Governor Haslam was there giving his spiel and how everything affected him, which was pretty cool. And got some good chicken and some good mashed potatoes at the Meadowview.
So he benefited, the governor of Tennessee benefited from Young Life. So
yeah, he said without Young Life he didn't know where he would be right now, which is
That's pretty
kind of impressive. That
It is impressive.
The governor there.
Absolutely.
And, but yeah, he gave a good speech. I think we were reminded a few times that he was a liberal, but which went over really well in the Kingsport. And
Yeah.
but he had a nonpartisan speech, and it was wonderful. I thought he did a good job, and I'm hoping they raised a lot of money. We sponsored a table, and thought it was pretty good.
Yep.
So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Since we are staunchly conservative for all intents and purposes here in Northeast Tennessee, not everybody, but it very much percentage-wise, it's conservative.
Yeah,
so when
it
liberals
is.
roll in here, they're not always received.
Yeah.
They're allowed to express their opinions, but usually it's like, oh, okay, and so we stick with what we think.
Yeah, they do. And then spoke to my dad this morning. He ran into him yesterday at Food City. Didn't know who he was. So he was told afterwards that was the governor. And so I thought that was...
There you go.
That says a lot. Okay.
There you go. That pretty much takes care of everything
Yeah.
right there. The governor's in the Food City, and we don't know who he is.
Exactly. So
He
I
just
was like,
kind of blended in.
I said, Dad, if they didn't announce him before he got up there, I'd have probably thought he was just another speaker. So.
Just another speaker.
But
You got it.
he gave a very good speech.
So Young Life is a great organization. In fact,
They
we
are.
have them on there from time to time, and so of course we're all about Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Got a guy coming next week, the Recovery Soldier Ministry, which is an incredible program, and we've got every opportunity we can to promote the Lord. You want to read this verse, by the way? It's the verse of the day.
It says Tom.
It says Tom.
Yeah.
So you can skip that part. Just
Oh.
it's out of the book of Isaiah. It says, I have what?
Tom, I have carried you since your birth. I will continue to be with you and sustain you, even when you have gray hairs. Oh,
Yep.
that's very relevant. I will always carry you. I will always sustain you. I will always rescue you. Keep in your mind focused on me, and I will keep you in a perfect peace.
There you go.
But that
That's
was,
our
was
verse
written
today.
for Tom.
There you go. Written
Yeah.
for me. Even the gray hairs in there.
Yeah.
NBA last night. This guy's a big fan of the National Basketball Association. So last night's winners, you had Orlando, the Cavaliers, the Celtics, Indiana, Portland, and the Clippers all got
Yeah.
W's last night. LeBron got moved around. He was running point for the Cavaliers?
Yeah, Derrick Rose was hurt, which is, not a big surprise. And they moved LeBron to point. I think he's only played point maybe like 5 or 6 times in the last couple of years, but technically I think he's still point guard regardless who's on the field, on the court. But 34 points last night from the point, which is not bad. But I think they need to keep him there.
Is that a team to be reckoned with again, the Cavaliers? Can they make a run?
Well, I think they'll make the finals because there's nobody else in the East to, give them any kind of competition. But the West is looking really good right now. I mean, the Golden State's not gelling like they should. I think they're having some little off-season, maybe the slump from the championship like the Cubs went through. So, but I'm sure they'll be all right. But it's nice to see other people win.
How the Spurs doing?
Spurs are they're all right. They're hard to watch. They're boring.
They are boring, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're not flashy.
Yeah, they actually have a couple of young players now that Aldridge is playing good, and Kawhi Leonard, and so they'll be there. They'll be all right.
Wizards undefeated in the East and the Southeast Division.
Yeah.
In the Western Conference, Memphis, San Antonio, and the Clippers are all undefeated right now.
Yeah, Memphis is legit.
And the Knicks and the Bulls
are not.
And Dallas have yet to win a game. The Mavericks are 0-4.
That sounds about right.
Now, how does Mark Cuban? How do you live with if you're Mark Cuban, how do you live with an 0-4 start to your basketball team?
You just do, because they really didn't make any big moves in the off season, and I think this is, Dirk's swan song, and just trying to send him out. I mean, there's nothing they can do about it now. So all the free agents went to Houston and OKC. And it's gonna be a long season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, you were at the dinner last night. Did you get a chance to watch the World Series any at all?
Yeah, I watched. I got home. It was the third inning, so yeah, I missed the first pitch home run, but looks like Kershaw pretty much had him, dead to rights, because he
was on.
He's on it last night.
Yep. Tonight, Justin Verlander for the Astros and Rich Hill for the Dodgers. Great pitching matchup. Then they shift and go to Houston, but another good one tonight at Dodger Stadium.
I think tonight, if the Astros are going to win this thing, they're going to have to win tonight. And I think with Verlander on the mound, they can do it. And they've got some hitters, but they're playing. Last night they played pretty well, but they played kind of like they did against the Yankees. And they're away from home. They're not the same team.
Well, it's interesting. The team that everybody's beginning to get in behind the Astros because of the hurricane and everything went on down to Houston, so they're kind of the sentimental favorite. But Verlander's, you got to figure in a 7-game series, if they get to that point, he'll go twice. Mm-hmm. He's got to get him a win tonight.
Yeah.
You don't want to go back to Houston down 2-0 to the Dodgers.
No, they got too many weapons.
They got Darvish coming up again. Let's see, Darvish will start Game 3, and Alex Wood will go Game 4 for the Dodgers. Let's see. A.J. Hinch has said Charlie Morton goes either 3 or 4, and Lance McCuller will start the other for the Astros. So, and let's see.
And really, with the Astros, once you get to their bullpen, they're not good. So
I'm trying to see. I knew this. 2-3-2. Here it is. They travel tomorrow. They pick back up Friday night. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be in Houston. So
that's what I love about baseball.
Monday or Tuesday, if need be, at Dodger Stadium. So
yeah, they can knock out the whole finals in a week and a half, and like the NBA, it takes almost 2 months, 3 days of travel every time they play a game. Never understood that one.
He just tells it like it is, like Howard Cosell. Do you remember Howard Cosell as a kid?
I've seen videos.
You don't remember him?
I mean, I know who he is,
but he wasn't around when you were a little guy.
He might have been alive. I don't know if he was relevant then, but
man, Monday Night Football. You either tuned in to either throw bricks. I mean, they used to have a contest. I read one time up in Cleveland at a bar, they had a brick throwing contest to throw. If you won, the way they did it with money and all that betting, and if you won, you had to throw a brick to the TV when Cosell was on. So
oh my gosh,
you loved the guy or hated the guy?
Wasn't he the Down Goes Frazier guy too? Didn't he? Okay, that's what I
thought. Howard Cosell. Speaking of sports,
yeah.
So anyway,
I'm not that young, but yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, but he reads the Bible verse and says, "Oh, this is appropriate because it says gray hairs," and stops and pauses and looks at me.
Yeah.
So,
well, Jesus was speaking to you.
That's it. The Lord is speaking right at me in that one. That's good. I love this guy. All right, JeremyLivesey.com, Movement Mortgage. This is a nationwide company.
It is.
Yep, and this is the first branch, office, however you want to call it, in the Tri-Cities.
Yeah, we've got a satellite from the Asheville market over across town, but as far as a Tennessee homegrown for this area, our nearest branches are here for Knoxville. So we've got this was our hub. We're going to branch out probably to Kingsport, Bristol, and then kind of spread our wings from there. So.
Brittany's in here. Name the staff you got so far.
We got Brittany Kasem, who is my assistant. She came over with me, and we got McClure Boyd, and then we have Angie Omland, which she just started last week, and then we have Jennifer Holyfield. She's starting next week, and we've got a few more that we're talking to, and hopefully grow this office to be, the place to be.
So I met Angie. That was Angie met her just a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
she's the newest loan officer. So good folks, they get it done. So check it out if you're looking. And right now, all right, used to be the old adage. Here it is. We're 60 days exactly from Christmas. Folks would say, "Gosh,
scary, man.
That is scary." Folks would say, "Well, can I get in a home by Christmas?"
Yeah.
Well, at this point, the way you do it, you get home by Thanksgiving.
Oh, absolutely.
So point is, if you're wanting to make a move, either downsize or upgrade, or what are you seeing? Is there a trend, folks? Or
I mean, right now we have this time of year is actually really good. You got cycles throughout the year, and it seems like the springtime is when most of your first-time buyers come out, and then you've got I'd say like for early summers, your newlyweds are buying houses and stuff. But this time of year, you get more of the higher end product, because once you get the $300,000 or $400,000 range, they don't have an actual season. That's when you got your doctors and lawyers and stuff like that, and they don't care when they actually move. So right now we're doing a lot of our loans are in the 300 range, and we got a lot of people moving here from. I got a couple from Florida we're taking care of, a couple from New Hampshire moving here to retire.
So it's a combination of both moving across the market and moving in the market.
Correct.
So it's going
a lot of people moving from out of the area in, retiring to this area just because of the income tax situation and stuff like that. And then we got a lot of veterans moving here because of the hospital. So it's been good.
Tell us, and something else before we go to the break here. We got Greg Sauer ready to talk a little Major League Baseball and dial in. This guy is the pro when it comes to baseball. Our Major League Baseball update every week. By the way, we'll be back at Chick-fil-A next Wednesday. We want to come over here and hang out with my man today. Hang out with my buddy Jeremy Livesey, JeremyLivesey.com. So VA loans, you help a lot with those too.
We got a lot going on right now. It's been kind of strange because we're usually maybe 20-25% VAs, and that's about normal. But right now we're probably over half of our loans right now are VAs, and they're really easy.
And you have a system. A lot of places don't have a system. You got a system in place that you want VA loans.
Oh yeah, yeah. We the paperwork's not. I mean, most of ours is online. So for the VA side, I mean, the veterans know exactly what paperwork we need, which is what is fantastic, because when we use the different verbiage for the veterans, when we throw out the little DD 214s and all that other stuff for them, oh yeah, I got a whole stack of those things, and but they never say anything bad about when we ask them for extra stuff. So they already got it. So they're easy to deal with. So
it's all good right here at JeremyLivesey.com. Not officially open yet, and 23 closings in the month of October. How about that? So we're ready to push it and move on to the next month of November. Again, 60 days today for Christmas.
Yep.
How about that?
That's what I heard.
Yeah. So
I'll have to start shopping.
Well, I want anything Larry Bird. So just
we can hook you up. I'll get you a baseball card or basketball card, I guess.
A napkin.
Yeah.
He'll go down the hall and say, McClure, sign Larry Bird here. Wrap his up, give it to Tommy. He'll never know the difference. So
and you're exactly right.
I know him well. Quick break. We'll be right back. Got Eric Kistner coming. We've also got Greg Sauer talking baseball next. We're live at Movement Mortgage. Again, show number 621 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show, brought to you by Grip Energy Drink.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at FCA.org.
It's Chevy Truck Month, Take 2 at Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City. The savings and selection of over 600 new Chevys to choose from are at an all-time high. 1500 All-Star Crew, $11,000 off. 1715 All-Star Double Cab, $10,000 off. 18 Equinox LT, $5,000 off. 17 Traction Traverse, $5,000 off. Shop us online 24/7 and remember our Saturday parts and service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back live again to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We are live again, as you can see behind us, Movement Mortgage, JeremyLivesey.com. 23 closings already this month. They're not even officially open to the new digs. I think you said the official grand opening will be November the 9th. So it's going to be it's a really cool place. It's brand spanking new, literally. In fact, the outdoor signs, as you heard him say, not up yet. So they're hoping to have those up at the end of the week. So that's right across, adjacent to Cracker Barrel here in Boones Creek. Very easy in, easy out, very accessible. And so Movement Mortgage at JeremyLivesey.com is where you want to take a look, and all the information you need will be right there for you. He is with us. I guess you're going to get a little closer so we can get there.
Okay.
Look at him get in there. We're going to have to rub kneecaps. There he is.
Oh.
What happened?
Caught the cord. Let's put that up here.
I do that all the time. Like this getting snagged by the headphone cord. Greg Salyer with us, obviously. Major League Baseball update. Last night, literally the hottest game ever in World Series history. Game time temperature 103, and once they threw the first pitch, it was hot all night long in the ball game. It was a great game.
Yeah, it's 47 out here today, according to my car, and 103 last night in Los Angeles. So, that's just not what you expect for the World Series for sure. But it's Los Angeles and of course Houston, so I think they're going to have good weather for these games, hopefully, and it'll be warmer than what you typically see, like if you're playing in Boston or New York or something like that for the World Series. So hot weather is probably a better thing than, I think, cold weather.
Work up a lather. Yeah, this is the first series, I guess, that for a long time that will not be impacted by the weather from a cold standpoint. Obviously, who would have thought there'd be 103 last night in L.A., which is very uncharacteristic this time of year. But I think it would, as you said, would beat 40 degrees and wind blowing in Boston or Chicago. Although the Red Sox fans say we'd love to be sitting out in Fenway to be in the World Series. But you start this thing off, and again, you had Keuchel versus Clayton Kershaw. And those guys didn't disappoint. It was a great matchup.
No, it was a fantastic game last night. I got home in the bottom of the fourth. I turned the TV on literally, and I saw Bregman rounding the bases. So he had already hit his home run and was rounding the bases when I turned it on last night. But great game. Both pitchers pitched well. You can't say Keuchel didn't pitch well. He did. I mean, the only runs he gave up were 2 home runs. First pitch of the game, which was interesting. I think that game last night, though, was a game that meant more to the Dodgers than it meant to the Astros. The Dodgers can't lose when Kershaw pitches. They need to win those games for sure. And I think tonight's game is just the opposite. I think this game tonight is much more important for the Astros than it is for the Dodgers. The Astros need to win when Verlander pitches, and they also need to take away the home field advantage by winning tonight. And if they win tonight, they can do that because they'll be playing 3 at home with just 2 left in Los Angeles.
Chris Taylor gave the Dodgers a very quick 1-0 lead with that 447-foot bomb from home plate into left field. Guy's got to be good. He's got a great last name. Hit the bell. That's so cheesy.
Oh,
Chris
yeah.
Taylor with the home run, by the way.
Yeah.
Keuchel. Now, I got some stats for you. Those people sit around and do the stats.
Yeah.
So here we go. Second straight World Series game to begin with a leadoff home run. Dexter Fowler took Corey Kluber deep in Game 7 of the World Series last year. Taylor's home run, only the fourth Game 1 leadoff home run in World Series history. There they are. You can read them. Taylor this year. Escobar for the Royals, 2015. Dustin Pedroia with the Red Sox in 2007. And Don Buford of the Orioles in 1969. So, incredible. Kershaw, another home run for his 9th consecutive start in Game 1. Easily the longest such streak of his career. So he allows a home run for the 9th consecutive start. And so, as you said, Bregman took him deep in the 4th inning. But Kershaw,
that was it.
Yeah, that was it. He's now allowed 7 home runs in 4 starts. But again, the numbers for Kershaw, pretty impressive. Guy goes 7 innings, scatters 3 hits, 1 run, and he struck out 11. So.
Yeah, I mean, he was very impressive last night. I mean, he was typical Clayton Kershaw. I mean, that's what you expect to get, and that's what you got. Like I said, Keuchel did not pitch a bad game either. I mean, he had a couple mistakes, and they hit him. And, in the World Series, a couple mistakes can hurt you. So that's what happened last night.
Eric Kistner joins us coming up in a few minutes. Again, the president of NETAR, the Northeast Tennessee Association of Realtors, and we'll check in with him, talk a little real estate, because he works very closely with my man Jeremy Livesey at jeremylivesey.com with Movement Mortgage. You look at these numbers, Kershaw, again, the first Dodgers pitcher with 10-plus strikeouts in a World Series game since Sandy Koufax.
Yeah.
Struck out 10 Twins in his complete game shutout in Game 7 of the 65 World Series against the Twins. I remember watching that game. I guess I'm telling my age, but I remember wasn't very old. I remember because Koufax had a high kick. Two guys remember Koufax and Juan Marichal with the Giants had the kicks. Of course, Koufax was southpaw, but I remember watching that game as a little feller way back in 1965. But pretty impressive to put your name alongside Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear that, then you got to think, okay, this guy's done something that very few have ever done. And let's talk about Turner as well. I heard a stat the other day. I think it was OPS or something like that for the playoffs, and he's second in history behind Babe Ruth and in front of Lou Gehrig. So, yeah, I mean, so think about that for just a minute. That's and think about every other name that could be there, like the Mantles and Duke Snider and all those guys, and look where he's at.
Pretty impressive stuff. The last pitcher with 11-plus strikeouts in Game 1 of the World Series was a guy that, here's trivia, who has the most strikeouts in World Series history. A pitcher?
A pitcher that has...
I don't know, I'll put you on the spot, but just for kicks, what do you think?
If I was going to guess, I'd say Whitey Ford.
He's second. Bob Gibson.
Okay.
68 against the Tigers, had 17 strikeouts in Game 1 of the World Series, which is a record. So that's pretty impressive. Another impressive guy is Turner. I like these long-haired boys. They're doing pretty good in the world. The long-haired beards, I like them. Keuchel, Turner. Kershaw's got long hair too, doesn't he?
Yeah. A little bit of a beard too. Yeah. So
I'm doing mine locks for love, but they're doing it just because they can, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, Turner's batting .368, winning a Game 1 of the career .368 batting average in October. 4th home run in 9 postseason games for Turner this year. So, again, he's lighting them up. So, big game last night for Justin Turner.
Yeah, Turner and Taylor, they were co-MVPs of the National League Championship Series, and it looks like they want to do the same thing for the World Series as well.
Game 1 World Series, here's some stats for you. The team that wins Game 1 of the World Series has gone on to win the series 64% of the time. Teams that win Game 1 at home, like they did last night, have gone on to win it 67% of the time. So, pretty good percentage. It's not airtight, rock solid, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's not like 90%, but I think Verlander's the key to this whole series. He's got to come out tonight and throw like he's done since he came over from Detroit. Otherwise, I think Astros are in trouble.
Yeah, they need a real strong start from Verlander. I mean, if you think about what he's done since they brought him over, he's pitched in 9 games for the Astros. He started 8 of those games. 1 was in relief in the playoffs, but the others have all been starts. His record's 9-0. He's got the decision in every one of those games, and he's won all of those games. Plus, his ERA is 1.23. not too shabby.
No.
I think I'll take that.
Managerial moves. Since we were here last week talking, we've solidified, let's see, the Mets pick up Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach of the Indians. Red Sox go pluck Alex Cora, got him, and then Gardenhauer is now the manager for the Detroit Tigers. So the only one out there hanging that I can think of would be the Phillies, right?
Well, the Phillies and the Nationals.
Oh, then that's right. They let Dusty go. Are
Yeah.
you surprised at that? Underperforming Dusty, bless his heart.
This is twice that's happened to Dusty. You know, you make the playoffs, and because you didn't go far enough into the playoffs, you lose your job. So that's happened to him twice now in just the last few years. And
He did it with the Reds, too.
he did it with the Reds, yeah.
They laid an egg when the Reds got in
yeah.
the playoffs.
Yeah,
So
they
I
did.
remember Marty just wearing him out on the radio. Marty Brenneman, the voice of the Reds, just blistering him pretty good.
Well, you know, you go to San Francisco and you win the first 2 games away, and then you come home and lose the next 3. Yeah, that's
You
a
gotta
problem.
be good to do that.
That's a
So,
problem.
Yeah, that's a problem, no question. So anyway, Nationals looking for a manager, and the Phillies, and I'm not hearing anything so far about either one that they're talking to. It's interesting, John Farrell. Nobody's bringing this guy up. He was a winner for the Red Sox, and they canned him. And I would have thought he'd been an instant pick by somebody to get him.
Yeah, I still think we're going to hear his name. I think we're going to hear that somewhere down the line. I could see him in Philadelphia. I don't know that he'd be willing to go there, but I could see them at least reaching out to him. Maybe that's why we haven't heard from him. Maybe it's because the Phillies have reached out and he said, I think I'll just kind of sit around for a year.
Get in a TV booth.
Yeah.
For the most of the time.
Yeah,
Make
that's what
some
they
money.
do. That's where Dusty came from.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if he'll manage again. You think he'll go back and manage? You think he's done? He's in what, late 60s? Dusty?
yeah, I think if the right job came along, I think he would take it because I think he loves it. He's a good players manager. The players love to play for him. So I could see him continuing to manage maybe even into his 70s like some of these guys do. You know, he's got some pretty high numbers there career-wise as far as wins and things go. So, you know, he's borderline Hall of Famer there with those numbers. So I could see him trying to manage a few more years to try to get those numbers to get into the Hall of Fame.
Normally, I would say at this point, he's getting ready to close out. We'll see what he wants to leave us with here in a second. Normally, I say, Greg, are you hungry? And he'll say, yeah. So he's going to go to Chick-fil-A and get some. We're not at Chick-fil-A today. We'll be next Wednesday. We came over here today to hang out with Jeremy and Brittany and McClure. So no chicken today.
No chicken.
No chicken, or whatever you get. But you'll have a bag next week. Get a chance to get you some good Chick-fil-A food next Wednesday. What do you want to leave us with here today at Movement Mortgage?
You know, I think what we're going to see, I think this World Series is going to be so interesting that, for one thing, you know, I'm kind of glad both of these teams are in it because there's going to be at least a 29-year drought broken. And one team, you know, has never won it. The Astros have never won the World Series. So, you know, I'm glad that one of these two teams are going to be world champions this year. You know, we have a lady in the church that has been a huge Astros fan for years and years and years. A couple years ago when they lost 107 games in one season, she was ready to bail. She was going to become a Braves fan, and I kept saying, no, don't do it. Stick with your team. You know, the Astros are going to come back. And she kept saying, I just don't know. It's just so hard right now. I feel her pain, you know. I understand where she's coming from because my team's there now. But, yeah. But, you know, and then I talked to her the other night, and I said, hey, aren't you glad you stuck with the Astros? And she said, yeah, can you believe it? Can you believe what they've done? Well, Sports Illustrated, did you see the Sports Illustrated cover from 2014? One of the years when they when, you know, the Astros were having a terrible year. They were rebuilding. They were just trying to get in some guys that they could get. The guys that are their core now were just coming up. Sports Illustrated had a cover that said, "You're a 2017 World Series champion, Houston Astros."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Back in 2014.
Back in 2014. So I don't know if that was prophetic or not. You know, the Dodgers are going to have something to say about that for sure. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
I think tonight's a key game. Justin Verlander's got to be a Justin Verlander kind of performance tonight. He can't lay an egg because if you go down 2-0 going back to Houston, again, it's a long series, but the bats were, for all intents and purposes, quiet last night. The little guy that started in Greenville, I think it's an incredible success story. Jose Altuve, 5'6", 164 pounds, and this guy is one of the main cogs of this baseball team. Started right down the road in Greenville, so you never know. But Verlander's got to be on tonight. But of course, the Dodgers got Rich Hill, and they want him to be on. So it's going to be a great series, game 2 tonight. Greg, thank you as always, my friend. He is our expert when it comes to baseball, as they say somewhere. And so we'll see you back in here next week at Chick-fil-A.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Give me some taters. Good man right there. Quick break. We'll be right back. Eric Kistner waiting in the wings to join us, talk a little real estate. We'll get his take on some sports, see what his hot button is. Tennessee football, by the way. If you missed it, we lose a lineman that's gone. Again, a medical condition, he has to quit. The doctor said you quit or you risk a permanent injury. So tough loss, and so it's another hole to fill for Butch Jones. As it seems like the problems continue in K-Town as they head off this weekend to battle the Lee Wildcats in Lexington, Kentucky, which is going to be a tough game. Most folks are prognosticating that Kentucky's going to win that football game. So we'll talk some college football coming up here in a little while. We're live at Movement Mortgage, show number 621. Tomorrow we'll be at Champion Chevrolet. Friday we'll be at Food City on Eastman Road with the Midnight Madness sale. And right now we'll take a break and be right back right after you hear this.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
Do you need an event catered? At Phil's Dream Pit, we cater for gatherings over 50 people. Weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, company picnics, sporting banquets, to name a few. We can set up, clean up, and of course serve. We also offer value packs that include all the food. You pick that up and serve it yourself. Check out our webpage at philsdreampit.com. That's philsdreampit.com. Phil's Dream Pit, Eastern Star exit on I-26, open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we're a phone call away at 423-349-6437, 349-6437. Phil's Dream Pit, the quest for perfect barbecue.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Back with the Tom Douglas Sports Show. There he is, our buddy Eric Kistner. He is the president of the Northeast Tennessee Association of Realtors. I want to get him in here in just a second. I want to go back to the picking panel. Check this out. Here's a chance for you to win $25. Here's our previous winners. Just go to TomDouglasSports.com/football. Again, Joel Ragsdale is our defending champ from last week. The old boy went 10 for 10. You can't get any better than that. 5 picks. And again, here are the picking panel. Of course, you go there and all the games are there. And so our previous winners, Eugene Jeffers from Greenville, Tracy Clark, Kingsport, Brenda Byram of Elizabethton, Tony Briggs, Elizabethton, Raymond Tanksley won it 2 weeks in a row from Kingsport, Jerry McNeil from Elizabethton won a couple of weeks back, won himself $25. So all you got to do is go there. We need your first name, last name, town you're from, and email address if you win. then we can get a hold of you. All the folks out of town got a big pocket of low up in West Virginia. First off, you don't know much about Tennessee football, high school football, pick anyway. If you win $25, we'll mail it to you. They got mail service wherever, so we have folks reaching out in 12 different states watching this show, and we appreciate that. So anyway, here's the picks. High school this week here locally: the Civil War south at North, Happy Valley at South Green. This is a huge one in 3A. Unicoi County and Johnson County up on the mountain. Be a little cool up there, I think, Friday night.
I would think so.
Yeah, be a little cool up in Mountain City on Friday night. It'll be cool up there tonight. Chucky Doak at West Green, and a huge game in Jonesboro. Morristown Easter Crockett. Again, final game of the regular season Friday night, again in Northeast Tennessee. So it's going to determine a lot of things. Who's going to be going into the playoffs. And so that's what's coming up in the high school picks. Now, the college picks, Tennessee at Kentucky. We'll get Eric's take on the Vols here in a second. Tennessee at Kentucky. You're picking Georgia, Florida. I got a story over here in a minute how Florida says it ain't going to happen. Gators going to win that game Saturday in Jacksonville. It's a lot of talking right there because Georgia can play. Penn State goes to Columbus to take on the Buckeyes of Urban Meyer. Everybody's telling me that Urban's going to have something up his sleeve, and that's going to be a trap game for Penn State, who's, last Saturday night when they were putting a whooping on Michigan, the fan base at Penn State started cheering as a crowd in unison, "We want Bama." So a little early for that. You got Ohio State this week, so we'll see up in Columbus. You'll be picking that game. Also, North Carolina State and Notre Dame. They cracked the top 10 for the first time in a long time. The Fighting Irish, and so they come right back out of the chute and got a big ball game against North Carolina State. That's going to be at South Bend. You'll pick that one. And also, this could be a trap game for Dabo and the boys. Clemson hosting Georgia Tech, that triple option offense. So those are the 5 picks. Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, Florida, Penn State, Ohio State, North Carolina State, Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, Clemson. We're not doing points. We're not gambling. We're just having fun. So the winner gets $25, and we'll send it to you. Cashier's check if you're out of town. If you're local, we'll get it to you like we did Joe Ragsdale, who's from Kingsport, Tennessee. Eric Kistner is with us. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for coming by.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yep, I had you on. Did I not have you on at the KMAC game?
At the KMAC game, that's right. That's exactly right.
I was down there doing a little phone thing with Jeremy because he had a night at the ballpark with Movement Mortgage, and so he is now here. Office is open officially November the 9th. I think soon we're going to have the grand opening. He has 23 closings already this month, he being Jeremy Livesey, and not even officially open. This guy's a hot rod, lightning rod, whatever adjective you want to use. Jeremy gets after it, doesn't he?
He does get after it, and I think this is the nicest mortgage office I've ever been in. It's about 4,000 square feet. Beautiful tile out here. Offices everywhere you turn. It's going to be wonderful. I can't wait for the grand opening.
Okay. When Jeremy does something, I don't want him to hear it, so he'll get the big head. When Jeremy does something, oh, there he is. Well, he is in here. When he does something, he does it first class. It's a great setting. It's easy in, easy out right here, right across from the Cracker Barrel here in Boones Creek. The president.
Can I tell you a Jeremy story?
Oh,
the first closing I ever had with Jeremy. You remember this one over in Edinburgh? And we're sitting there at the closing table, and Jeremy's looking at the paper, and he goes, "My gosh, my car payment is more than your house payment." Only Jeremy, A, would that be true, and B, would he mention it at a closing table. That was my introduction to Jeremy Livesey, so he's a good dude. Enjoyed being around him.
What you see is what you get, old Jeremy. He's an nice one, as they say. Yeah.
They don't ever go away, do they?
We're talking again to Eric, the president of the Northeast Tennessee Association of Realtors. I would assume, by everything I've been reading in the paper and just information I hear, it's been a pretty good year of real estate in the market.
Yeah, it's been a great year. We've had a pretty good little run. We started recovering in 2012. We actually started coming back before our local economy did. So we saw our numbers turning there. We're going to have another record year this year. Last year we sold $1 billion in sales for the first time ever. We're going to beat that number this year. Over 6,000 units are going to be sold. Prices are up, I think, about 15% since 2012. Condos are starting to sell. I know Jeremy does a lot of condo loaning. There for a while, you couldn't sell a condo because you couldn't get a loan on it. I know that a lot of that's happening now. Condo sales are up 17%. But the number that everybody needs to know is 4.9. That's the months of inventory that we have. So locally, we consider 8 a balanced market. I mean, you got enough buyers and you have enough sellers. At 4.9, it's a seller's market. So if you're interested in selling your house, now is the time to do it, but you better have your bags packed because it's going to get moved pretty quickly. So it's an interesting time in the real estate market around here.
Wow. 4.9?
4.9 months of inventory on the market.
Which means ain't much out there.
Ain't much out there, that's right.
And what is out there gets scooped up pretty quick.
It gets scooped up pretty quickly. That's exactly right. And we're not building enough new homes to replace it. So it's a time. It's a crazy market. I know Jeremy's hopping right now. The rates are still low. We had predicted the rates to be up around 5 by this time of the year that the Association of Realtors did back in January, but it just hasn't happened. So it's a very interesting time in real estate.
So how many markets across this country, again, we're talking to Eric Kistner, you see on the screen, how many markets across this country would like to say, because they're not having the kind of growth we're having, but like to say, man, we're booming like Northeast Tennessee is?
There's pockets everywhere. You know, real estate is hyper-local. You know, you can't really look at the national picture. I can't think of one that's terrible right now. It's all trending pretty good. I think if you look at Las Vegas, I think they've had some issues out there. They've had some challenges. Even Charlotte has came back. But it's interesting. You got two locations in Tennessee, in Nashville and Knoxville. That's the 1 and 2 markets in the entire country right now. Knoxville is white hot. So it's hard to find anything in Knoxville, and the builders are killing it. Nashville are knocking down houses and building 2 houses back and knocking down office buildings. They got so many different businesses down there. It's ridiculous. They're bringing people in every day. They're going to be bigger than Atlanta by 2030, they say. So it's pretty awesome.
Well, the governor was in town last night, and I saw in his interview this morning where they're trying to lure Amazon to come in. And Amazon, if they come, they're considering coming to Tennessee to add another satellite brand, whatever they're doing, whatever they're bringing in, will be to the tune of 50,000 jobs.
And they're high-paying jobs, too.
So if you're not in Tennessee and you're watching this show, you may want to consider coming here because it's hot. It's a great place to raise youngins here in Northeast Tennessee, quality of life, and it's obviously a great place to work. The crime levels down. There's all the right reasons to be considering coming to Tennessee. And as Jeremy told me before you got in here, what he's saying, he's getting a lot of folks moving in. There's some other folks moving east to west inside the market, upgrading or downsizing, but a lot of folks are moving in here.
You better believe it. Think about this area, and when you live here, you forget this, but we get all 4 seasons. It's very, very cold here. I think it's going to get some flurries this weekend, but we see all 4 seasons. All the major cities on the East Coast are within a day's drive. We don't have any income tax. We're phasing out the Hall dividend tax. We've got all the advantages of retirees, for millennials, whatever you want. It's all right here, and you have these beautiful mountains. We've got world-class health care, and Johnson City and Kingsport both have level 1 trauma centers in their hospitals, which is amazing. So it is a tremendous place to live. If you give us a chance, I think you would enjoy being here.
This guy needs to be running for something, man. He's got me fired up. You can be in a ski resort when the weather hits. You can be skiing within an hour from where we're sitting. Half a day's drive, you can be at the beach. So,
and you've got championship golf courses here. Jeremy lives here. That's always a plus.
Yeah.
And the people are so friendly that what you forget, though, if you go to Nashville, you don't ever forget it. If you live in Kingsport, you can get anywhere in Kingsport in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and the driving here is so much different than the big cities. We don't have the traffic issues. No. Which I went to Nashville a couple months ago, and I stayed in Mount Juliet. I was 11 miles from the place I had to be the next morning, and it took me 47 minutes to get there. So that's just no way to live.
No.
So I love living here. I love the people of Northeast Tennessee. I've been here all my life, so I don't guess I know any different.
No. Hit that bell.
Boom.
I like it. He's on it. I like a traffic jam in Northeast Tennessee. A traffic jam, most of the lights is like 4 or 5 cars.
That'll fire you up on it. You're like, what's going on here?
Cal got out the road. He had to wait through 2 lights. He almost snapped.
I just remember we have Waffle Houses too. It's weird to me that they don't have those all the way across the country, but it's an SEC country. They're everywhere. There's a great article on ESPN about that this week, about Waffle House and the SEC.
We're talking to Eric Kistner, again, the president of the Northeast Tennessee Associated Realtors. And again, let's talk a little sports. Your Redskins, we'll talk a little NFL. Your Redskins, what's the take on the boys up in the nation's capital?
Well, we win some games that we shouldn't win, and we lose some games that we should win. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. They have very, very young receivers this year. That salary, how the salary cap's going to works in the NFL, it makes it very difficult. But they didn't lock down that quarterback position again. So that's a strange phenomenon. As much money they spent on all the other people through the years, you think about Deion Sanders and Haynesworth and the hundreds of $1 million they've wasted on Bruce Smith, all at the end of their careers, and you've got a franchise quarterback at the beginning of his career, and they refuse to pay him. It it's putting a whole shadow over the whole entire team, and I think until they get that knocked out, I don't think they can make it to the next level.
He's referencing Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, that's right.
So, college football, we've got problems in Knoxville.
Hey,
I'm going to make you athletic director for a day. What would you do? Would you let him go?
Absolutely.
What would you do?
I'd call our buddy, the governor, who was here last night, and get his brother on the phone on a conference call, and I'd say, you're going to have to write a check, brother. It's time. It's funny, I have a friend that played college football in Louisville. His coach was Howard Snellenberg. You remember that guy, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so back when Brooks got hired and they had those brick commercials for Farm Bureau, do you remember those? I don't know if you've ever paid attention to it. You can pull it up on the internet. It's one of the sloppiest brick jobs you've ever seen. Like, some of them have mortar is coming out. Some are just no mortar at all. And he told me something. I didn't really thought about it recently. He said, I'm going to tell you one thing. I don't know what kind of coach Butch Jones is, but he's not going to be successful on the higher levels of college football. He said, because those guys pay attention to every single detail. If it has to do with their program, they pay attention to it. So the fact that this is his tagline for the year, brick by brick, and he's letting a commercial go out, I could tell you that guy's not looking after the details. And you start thinking through and all the stuff that's happening, I think he's dead on. I think Butch is a heck of a recruiter, but it's just, the talent's not developing when they get here.
74. I go back. I guess folks watch this show tired of hearing about this since day 3 this week of the show, but I go back to it. Southeastern Conference football team, 46 offensive plays on Saturday, 74 total yards, 10 yards passing, 64 yards rushing. That's what Tennessee had against Alabama. Now the guys at church said, "Well, it's Alabama." I don't care who it is. If you're a Southeastern Conference football team, you cannot have 74 yards for a football game. You just can't. It's 46 plays. It is a total embarrassment. And, only thing I can figure why he's still down there is because they don't want to rock the boat in the middle of the season. But I know we had a story yesterday. They fired Georgia Southern's coach yesterday. We've had some other coaches got canned in the middle of the season. Oregon State let theirs go. So the problem is, and what folks, and I brought this up yesterday on the show, and my guest said, man, I never thought about that. The NCAA has instituted and implemented a new signing period in December. So now there's 2. So you got an early signing period in December, and then the traditional one on the first Wednesday in February. What does that say? We are 60 days away from Christmas, so we're inside 60 days for the first signing period. You've had 4 recruits decommit to Tennessee in the last 2 weeks. So, this season's probably a wash. I'm not even sure he can get bowl eligible. He's got to win 3 more to get bowl eligible.
I don't think he can.
But now, for me, I'm not a Tennessee guy. I bleed green. I'm a Marshall guy. But I live here in Tennessee. I want him to do well. But the bottom line is, Eric, now you're playing for the future. And if this season's a wash and the guy that's running the team ain't getting it done, then you can him. You got Brady Hoke on the staff, who's an interim coach. A former head coach. Make him interim, and then go out there and get somebody ready to roll, because you have got to hit. If he's out there recruiting now, I don't know what. If he comes to see Eric Kistner, what's Butch Jones going to tell you?
My parents wouldn't let him through the door at this point. Who wants to go into that kind of turmoil? But, and I always go back to the economic, but let's think about the small business owners in Knoxville that depend on those fans coming in there every week.
Oh, yeah.
They're taking hits right now that they weren't planning on taking this year. They probably thought this was going to be a record year selling whatever it is they sell to those fans. It's terrible down there. It's horrible for everything when Tennessee goes south like this. So I think something's going to have to happen. It's going to have to happen pretty close. I don't think it's going to be Gruden.
No, it's not going to be Gruden. I think that's as much lip service. The simplest thing to do at this point, I guess, is to go get a guy because right now it's pretty much hands off to call coach and talk to him in the middle of the season. I think protocol is you don't do that. So the guy that's sitting out there's 2 of them that are not currently coaching. One would be Les Miles, but he's 64 years old. He says he's pretty happy doing what he's doing. The other guy that keeps saying, is Chip Kelly. He keeps saying, he runs hot and cold, but he is currently not coaching. So these guys, you could hand them the whistle and the clipboard and say, go get them right at the end of the season, right after the Vanderbilt game, and go get on the road and hit it. But you were talking about impacting. Now, I've got 2 of my clients up here that have told me that because of Tennessee's poor performance, their restaurant business is down because people aren't coming out to eat.
Isn't that
one
crazy?
Of them is a place you can come in and get and take it home with you. And I said, well, how's it going? And I was in there Saturday, and they were dead. There's nobody there. He says, Tennessee's doing crummy. Nobody's buying food. So it's not just Knoxville. It spills over here into East Tennessee. So there's a lot of reasons why you got to make that change. So if you're John Curry, you're the new athletic director, and you're trying to make a name for yourself because you're brand new. coming over from Kansas State. What's he waiting on? You jokingly said about Haslam. Haslam's brother, who runs Pilot Oil, who writes big checks. That's what's going to get their attention in Knoxville, is when those checkbooks close up.
That's exactly right.
So what's Curry waiting on, I guess?
I don't know if it's just the fact that he's new on the job. I don't know if it's the money. I don't know if he's got a target in mind and it's the end of the year thing and they're thinking, why do we pay the buyouts for all those guys now? I honestly don't know, but it's deteriorating. The fan base has just, well, you hear it every day. They're miserable right now. So something's going to have to change. My pick is Bobby Petrino. I've always liked Bobby. So he gets it done everywhere he's at. I mean, if you can win at Western Kentucky, you can win anywhere.
Yeah, he's in Louisville right now.
He's in Louisville right now, but his buddy is the athletic director, and he's gone. He got caught up in the Paterno mess, so there's an opportunity there, I think.
Yeah, Jurek's gone. The athletic director of Louisville's been canned after 20 years, and so he doesn't have a deflector now, nor does Patino, who got let go too. So that may be one. Bobby Petrino, who is not having a barn burner year anyway at Louisville, although he went down and got a pretty good win over Florida State.
Good win there.
So that's another one. But anyway, we can go on and on. But the bottom line is things have got to change in K-Town for a lot of reasons. You're not even thought about the economic thing from the businesses. That's another great point too. But because all the businesses in Knoxville
oh my goodness,
are suffering because folks aren't coming out. So who?
Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo. I got a story about Jimbo. Did you see where he got into it with the fan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're on the downhill when that happens.
He's walking. I'll go ahead and give the story. He's walking off the field, and this guy's hammering who's going through the tunnel back to the locker room. New coaches. And Jimbo stopped and said, "Come on down here and say it. I'll beat your beep." And then the security guy that was walking Jimbo pushed him on into the locker room. Like, go on. So he got in the post-game press conference and apologized. But so they're 2-4, and they could get 4 out of the next 5. In fact,
Yeah, that's right.
All right, I'm going to jump here and do this story before I finish this thing up.
And I want to hear your take on the double bird incident in the end zone from the Tennessee-Alabama game, too.
Okay. I have no problem with that one. So Florida State's 2-4. They're going to win 4 out of the last 5. Here's their remaining schedule. We're talking about Florida State. They're at Boston College, Syracuse, at Clemson, Delaware State, at Florida. So he's 2-4. Florida State's been to a bowl game 35 consecutive years. It's the longest active streak in college football. So he's in trouble. Jimbo's in trouble. I mean, the Seminoles are in trouble. They've had a lot of injuries, but they've not, they got beat by Alabama, and everybody thought they'd bounce back, and they have not. Now, the double bird in Knoxville, he would never play. I'm telling you, I saw this happen when I played when I was a kid. Kid did the same thing, flipped the bird. We were playing ball. The coach took him, and he ran him during the game till he puked. He said, "I'm going to run you till you puke. You will never do that again. You embarrassed me." He made him run up and down the sideline till he puked.
It's a
symbol. He said, "If you don't want to run, give me your uniform. You're out of here because you will not do that to me again." So the guy, I guess you know what we're talking about. Eric is alluding to the fact that the linebacker for Tennessee intercepts the ball in Alabama, runs back for a touchdown, gets into the end zone, looks up in the Alabama section, and gives him a West Virginia high, double-barreled West Virginia hello, and so shot him the bird, double-barreled bird. And so, again, an unsportsmanlike conduct, which cost him on the next drive because Alabama goes down and scores. Jonathan Kungbo, by the way, got 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. That's 3 in the game. And then my understanding is Butch let this guy continue to play the game. He didn't take him out, did he?
He didn't. So that's a symbol of what's going on with their leadership in the locker room. Coaches can't take all the blame here, but some of those kids have got to step up and lead, and it's just not happening. So long day there for the Vol fans last Saturday.
So am I right? He let him continue to play?
Yeah, he let him play.
See, I'm done with him right there. Because if you're going to embarrass me and upstage me like that, and let the guy, and they made him come in the post-game conference and apologize, but typically, I know when I played, if you got a technical, when I played basketball in West Virginia, if you got a technical, you wouldn't see the floor again for the rest of that game, maybe the next game, and you would run line drills or run the steps, because the coach would say, and I'm old school, "Hey, you embarrassed me. You don't do that. That's not how you conduct yourself."
If the coach didn't pull me out, my mama would have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she would have come out of the stands and pulled me out of there.
Oh, absolutely. So he let him go ahead and play.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with the balls till they get rid of him. So I can't tolerate that. Anyway, Eric Kistner, Northeast Tennessee Association of Realtors, what do you want to leave us with, my friend?
I would think that if you guys have considered selling your home in the near future, I think now is the time to act. You're going to get a higher price now than you will anytime in the foreseeable future, I believe, because the market is so thin that inventory is bad. And then encourage your local governments to to get with the developers and build more subdivisions. We've got to get some new homes here.
Get some new homes. Good stuff. So he did let him go back in the game.
According to Jeremy.
Jeremy knows. JeremyLivesy.com.
He knows it all.
Yeah. All right. Give me some taters. You're welcome back anytime, my friend.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
I'd love it.
Yep. Great job. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll jump into college football. Got a story about the Gators. Gators said, Georgia's not going to beat us Saturday. We can back it up and tell you why. All right. We'll see. We'll take a look at college football next on the Tom Dillon Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at FCA.org.
American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the parts. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Now available Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. The Hash Brown Scramble, the first breakfast bowl with Chick-fil-A. The Hash Brown Scramble, a hearty breakfast option made with Chick-fil-A's signature tot-style hash browns, scrambled eggs, a Monterey Jack and cheddar cheese blend, and a choice of sliced Chick-fil-A nuggets or sausage. Served with jalapeno salsa, the scramble can be enjoyed in a bowl or as a burrito. The Hash Brown Scramble Bowl, 30 grams of protein when made with nuggets. The bowl and burrito start at $3.49. Served until 10:30 every morning, Monday through Saturday. The Hash Brown Scramble or burrito, again at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City.
Back live again at the Tom Dillon Sports Show, again at Movement Mortgage, JeremyLivesy.com. Check it out. Everything that you need to know about what's going on will be with Jeremy. And, of course, we're going to have McClure Boyd coming on here in just a second or a little while before we get out of here. We got about 20 minutes left in the show. Let's run down our college football segment. Let's run down the top 25 in college football this week. A refresher. Alabama, Penn State, Georgia, TCU, and Wisconsin, the top 5. Then comes Ohio State, Clemson, Miami, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma round out the top 10. Number 11, Oklahoma State, Washington 12, the Hokies. The Hokies of Virginia Tech at number 13 this week. Then comes North Carolina State, Washington State, Michigan State, South Florida 17th, 18th is Central Florida, 19th is Auburn, and rounding out the top 20, the Stanford Cardinal. Southern Cal 21, West Virginia 22nd, LSU 23rd, Memphis 24th, and a newbie in this week. Iowa State, the Cyclones 25th, and way down there with one vote in the top 25, we are Marshall. Thundering Herd 6-1, so we got us a big win and back home this week. Let's run down top 25 college football. Thursday night, tomorrow night, Stanford will be at Oregon State. Cardinal at 20th in the country at 5-2. On Friday, you've got Tulane at Memphis. The Tigers at 6-1. They're 24th in the country. That's a Friday night game. Tulane at Memphis. On Saturday, 5th-ranked Wisconsin 7-0. The Badgers will be at Illinois at 2-5. Will be that game on Saturday, 12 o'clock game. Also 12 o'clock, Miami 8th-ranked Hurricanes 6-0 at North Carolina 1-7 in Chapel Hill. Here's a good matchup in Morgantown, West Virginia University. The Mountaineers at 5-2. Should be cold up there, I would think, in Morgantown for this game on Saturday. 5-2, playing host to the Cowboys of Oklahoma State at 6-1. They're 11th in the country. That's a 12 o'clock kickoff. The 3:30, then you move into the 3:30 games. 2nd-ranked Penn State at number 6 Ohio State. Nittany Lions 7-0. The Buckeyes at 6-1. That's a 3:30 kickoff in Columbus. Georgia, Florida, 3:30 kickoff in Jacksonville. The Gators at 3-3. The Bulldogs 3rd in the country at 7-0. We got a story about them in a moment. Texas Christian will be at Iowa State. 4th-ranked Horned Frogs at 7-0 at Iowa State 5-2. That's a 3:30 kick in Iowa, between number 4 and number 25. 14th-ranked North Carolina State 6-1 will be at number 9 Notre Dame 6-1. That's a 3:30 kick. UCLA will be at Washington. The Huskies 12th in the country at 6-1. That's an afternoon game. UCLA at 4-3. You have Michigan State, the Spartans at 6-1, traveling to Northwestern, who is 4-3. That is a 3:30 kickoff on Saturday. You also have South Florida, the Bulls at home at 7-0, hosting Houston at 4-3 are the Cougars. That's an afternoon game. Also, you have Central Florida at 6-0, and Central Florida, I'm trying to see, I got a typo here. Let's see if I can figure out who is Central Florida's opponent. Let's scan this here real quick and see. 5 o'clock kickoff. Austin Peay. It says Arkansas State. Arky State. Okay, Austin Peay, 5-3. At number 18 Central Florida 6-0. That is a 5 o'clock kickoff. Night games, Lane Stadium 6-1. The Hokies 13th in the country will play host to Duke 4-4, and Coach Cutcliffe. That's a 7:20 kick. That'll be from Lane Stadium in Blacksburg. Also night games, Georgia Tech 4-2 at number 7 Clemson 6-1. Texas Tech 4-3 at number 10 Oklahoma 6-1. The Sooners are 10th in the country. You also have Washington State, the Cougars, 15th in the country at 7-1 at Arizona, who's 5-2. And then Southern Cal, 21st-ranked Trojans at 6-2 at Arizona State, 4-3. The late games on Saturday. Excuse me. And that is the top 25 lineup for this week. We'll run down the Southeastern Conference schedule coming up. We've got the other, we've got the other conferences we're going to run down for you as well here coming up in just a minute, because we do have the conferences laid out for us this week in college football. Florida State has been to a bowl game 35 consecutive seasons, dating back to Bobby Bowden's 7th season in Tallahassee. The streak's now in jeopardy. They're 2-4. They need, of course, to win 4 of their last 5 games to reach that magical 6-win level to be bowl eligible. The Noles' remaining games, we said earlier, at Boston College, home to Syracuse, at Clemson, home to Delaware State, and at Florida. So, again, it is the longest running streak in college football as far as consecutive bowl games. 35 straight. Seminoles in trouble. We'll see if they can right the ship, but I think it's going to be tough to do, and so we'll see if they can pull it off. Right now I would say that would be a very tall task if you see Florida and Clemson on the sheet, and of course you've got to go to Florida to Gainesville, and you have to go to Clemson as well. So those are 2 toughies to try and get that magical number 6. So we'll see. Florida coming off back-to-back Southeastern Conference losses by a combined 3 points, not affecting the confidence of Gators freshman wide receiver Joshua Hammond as they get ready for Georgia on Saturday. In fact, he says, quote, "We haven't lost to Georgia in the last 3 years. Our seniors have never lost to Georgia." So I think that mentality that they bring, being they've never lost to Georgia, that brings a lot of confidence to us, just knowing that Georgia is not a team that we lose to, and it's not going to happen this week. They might be the number 2 or 3 team in the country, but they can't beat Florida. you got to know that's on the bulletin board in Athens, Georgia. That's our mentality going forward. We'll come out and be ready to play. Gators 3-3, Bulldogs 7-0. Again, the Gators have won the last 3 against the Bulldogs and 21 out of the last 27. So Florida owns Georgia in the series. Georgia leads at all time 50-43. But again, the Gators have won 21 out of the last 27, including the last 3. So, he can talk with some sense of confidence and authority because the numbers show that they do, in fact, have a lock on the series right now. But I think this is a different Georgia football team they're going to see Saturday in Jacksonville in a 3:30 kickoff. Let's run down some of the conferences and see who's leading what right now in college football play. Atlantic Coast Conference, Atlantic Division, North Carolina State 4-0, Clemson 4-1 on top of that division. And the Coastal Division, Georgia Tech, Miami, the Hurricanes 4-0, Georgia Tech at 3-1. The Hokies are at 2-1 in the Coastal Division. Again, the ACC on Saturday, Miami and North Carolina, Louisville at Wake Forest, Virginia at Pitt. You also have North Carolina State at Notre Dame. That's a biggie. Duke at Virginia Tech. That won't be. And Georgia Tech at Clemson. The Hokies ought to win pretty handily, I would think, on Saturday against the Blue Devils. I say that, but Duke usually gives them fits, and they're a 4-4 team. They're not terrible, but Duke 4-4 overall, but 1-4 in the ACC. Southeastern Conference, Western Conference, Alabama at 5-0, Auburn at 4-1. In the East, it's Georgia 4-0. Then you have South Carolina and Florida tied in second at 3-2. Here's your schedule. Arkansas, they'll be looking for a new coach, Brett Bielema, at Ole Miss on Saturday. Georgia, Florida, and Jacksonville. Vanderbilt will be in South Carolina to battle the Gamecocks. That's an interesting ball game, as South Carolina currently in second place in the East. They've got to maintain that. Missouri goes to UConn in the non-conference game. Night games, Mississippi State at Texas A&M, and Tennessee at Kentucky in a 7:30 kick on Saturday evening from Lexington. What else happening? You have the Southern Conference. The number 1 team right now is a 3-way tie. Wofford, Western Carolina, and Furman all 4-1 in the conference. The Buccaneers have 1-3, 3-4 overall. They'll take on Wofford, the number 10th ranked team in the country. And so Wofford comes to town with former coach Mike Ayers. A 1 o'clock kickoff here in Johnson City. VMI at the Citadel, Chattanooga at Sanford, and Furman at Western Carolina. In the Big Ten Conference, our last conference we'll take a look at. And the Eastern Division, Penn State, Michigan State, Ohio State, all 4-0. That's going to change come Saturday when Penn State plays Ohio State in Columbus. In the Western Division, Wisconsin at 4-0, and everybody else is just there. Northwestern, Nebraska, 2-2 are in second place, but Wisconsin clearly in the catbird seat in the Big Ten Western Division. Games on Saturday in the Big Ten. Rutgers, Michigan. Wisconsin and Illinois. Indiana takes on the Maryland Terrapins in Maryland. Michigan State goes to Northwestern. Penn State at Ohio State, that's the biggie. Minnesota at Iowa. And a night game, Nebraska in West Lafayette to take on the Purdue Boilermakers. And that's a look at college football, again, for this Wednesday, October the 25th. 2017. Our show number 621, and again, the countdown to Christmas, we are 60 days out, and we are about 3 minutes out from hearing and meeting the brand new loan officer here on staff. McClure Boyd joins us coming up next year. We're live at Movement Mortgage on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, and show number 621, brought to you by Grip Energy Drink.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at FCA.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today, at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Now available Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. The Hash Brown Scramble, the first breakfast bowl with Chick-fil-A. The Hash Brown Scramble, a hearty breakfast option made with Chick-fil-A's signature Todd-style hash browns, scrambled eggs, a Monterey Jack and cheddar cheese blend, and a choice of sliced Chick-fil-A nuggets or sausage. Served with jalapeno salsa, the scramble can be enjoyed in a bowl or as a burrito. The Hash Brown Scramble Bowl, 30 grams of protein when made with nuggets. The bowl and burrito start at $3.49. Served until 10:30 every morning, Monday through Saturday. The Hash Brown Scramble or burrito, again at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. There he is. Coming up tomorrow, we'll be live at Champion Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in the state. Ran into Jay, one of the sales reps at Food City the other night, and I was grocery shopping. He sold 4 in one day. I mean, they're moving it now. That's kicking in, and of course, this weather is going to increase the interest for trucks. And I do want to tell you real quick before we get McClure on here. 2017, as soon as you walk in the showroom at Champion Chevrolet in the Bristol Highway Motor Mile, we'll be there tomorrow for both shows. 2017 Silverado Crew Cab All-Stars, $11,000 off as soon as you walk in the door. $11,000 off MSRP. Equinox, these are 2018s. $6,000 off the sticker. 2018 Trax, $4,500 off the sticker. These are 18s. These are the brand new ones. Now they've got marked down on the 17 Cruises and Malibus, and marking down 25% or a fourth off the sticker on the 2017 Sonic and a 2017 Spark LS. So whatever you need for your home, or for your family, your driving needs, whether it's you, a single, if you're a elderly person, if you're a family, whatever the case may be, they've got something for you in the Chevrolet line, as they say. And again, nobody sells more Chevys. If you think about that, you have Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, bigger metropolitan areas, but they sell more cars and trucks than any other. There's 51 Chevy dealers in the state. Champion sells more, based right here in little old East Tennessee, than anywhere else in the state, from Mountain City to Memphis. So pretty impressive. Another impressive person, and a person that we'd like to talk to. We remember when he was just a little feller. McClure Boyd is here with us, a brand new loan officer. He and his father and I should say go way back, Wally Boyd, and so McClure's here, and I can remember the day, my friend.
Yeah, I remember long ago I was on a radio show at with Dad's show, Kinfolk, I believe was the name of the show. I used to come on as a 10-year-old and talk about pro wrestling. That was my shtick, I think. So.
Yes, you did. That's been how many years ago?
Oh, probably a good 20 at least, 23, 20, 22, something like that.
Yep.
So.
You used to work at Food City too, didn't you?
I did. That was my first job.
Yeah.
So we have grocery in our blood, I guess. But people would see me at Food City bagging groceries back in the day.
With Ed Moore.
Yeah, Ed Moore, great first boss I ever had. So.
Loved Ed Moore. Tom Taylor, how you doing? Tom Taylor?
Yeah.
Can you help me with this? Loved the guy. Loved him.
Great man.
Yep. So McClure's your loan officer, again at Movement Mortgage, and you are in and ready to roll. And tell us a little bit about McClure.
Yeah, I'm up and running. I've been doing commercial loans for a long time now, and have just recently switched over here to Jeremy's new branch, and looking forward to it. Kind of getting into the residential game. It's a little bit different, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm up and running, so I'm ready to go. We're still furnishing out the office here, but we've got our software up, and we're ready to go. So.
Yep, and we'll give you his information here in just a second. So you look at Movement Mortgage, and as Jeremy said earlier in the show, speed is the name of the game here. You can get these loans turned around a whole lot quicker than other folks in the market.
Yeah, sure, and that's kind of one of the selling points is that the 6-hour upfront underwriting is kind of we're looking to change the game with that. The 7-day processing, so you can essentially, if you got everything in that morning, have a formal decision by the afternoon. So it's a game changer there,
Sure.
and we're looking forward to it, trying to put our stamp on the industry and the culture here. So I'm looking forward to it too, and it's good to get in on the ground floor with Jeremy and his group. So looking forward to it a lot.
Absolutely. So if you come in at 10 o'clock this morning with the right documents, usually by 4 o'clock this afternoon, or certainly by closing time at 5, they'll have an answer for you today. And the other thing we were talking about with Jeremy is what I like is he'll give you the parameters, or now you as well, since you're on board, you'll give them the parameters, say, okay, because I know people have done this before. They go out and house shop, just drive around liking, I like this neighborhood, I like this, and then they go back into the lender and find out they don't qualify, which is kind of a downer. So now you and Jeremy and Brittany and all the folks here at Movement say, okay, you're approved, here's your parameters, go shopping. And that just makes it a whole lot more fun, because now you know exactly what you can afford, and you go looking in that price range.
Yeah, we can fully underwrite the deal without having a property picked out. So it does. It gives you as a buyer lots of options and that comfort to go out there and know you're not getting into something over your head. So you feel comfortable out there with your realtor shopping. So.
Absolutely. It's a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely.
He is involved in Young Life. He was at the banquet last night. He also recently, if you don't know what this is, it's been a life changer, everybody. I've not done it yet. That's on my bucket list to do, but folks that have done what he is about to tell you that he did recently is a life changer, and tell folks what that was.
Yeah, I was able and fortunate enough to go on the Emmaus Walk this weekend. It's a lot of folks don't know what it is. What it is basically is a weekend where you go away starting on a Thursday night to a Sunday night. You're there all weekend, and basically what it is to describe it simply, I would say it's just a huge display of God's love and grace for us, and that's the point of the weekend. That's kind of what the intention is. I've kind of been told not to tell all the full details about it, except I would suggest anybody that can go, say yes. If you're asked to do it, it's a life changer. It really is. So it's I had an unbelievable experience with it, and I couldn't be thankful enough that I went.
So in what ways has it changed your life? Because it happened recently. So what are you doing differently now because of the Emmaus Walk that you didn't do before?
What you kind of learn is the experience will teach you that how real God's love is, how real His grace is, and try to get you to put that into action in your daily life and everybody that you come in contact with. Not just a Sunday morning thing, but an everyday thing, to where you're essentially a servant leader, filling out that great commission. So it was a great weekend, and there was about 40 guys that did it. You are bunked up, and there's a lot of snoring, but it's a great weekend. I would suggest it to anybody. So
everybody I've ever heard go through this walk or experience the walk or however you want to call it, I hear the same thing. It's a life changer. I've heard that I have not heard anybody that's done the Emmaus Walk that has come back and said, man, that was a bummer, waste of my time. Not one. And I've heard people probably in the last 20 years that have done it. So that's on my list if I ever get slowed down to do it. McClure.Boyd at movement.com is where you can find this young man. And again, you can check him out on his office phone would be 228 on my glasses, 228-5742. Is that right?
Yeah, the cell phone's probably call that one. That's going to be basically my business phone, and it's 423-292-4107, and have that on me all the time pretty much, but would love to work with potential buyers, current homeowners. We're ready to go and ready to get some stuff done for you. So
Yep, Jeremy was telling us on his visit earlier in the show, 23 closings. They're not even officially open yet. So he and Brittany, of course, this place, as Eric said a few minutes ago, very, very impressive right here beside Cracker Barrel. The outdoor signage is not up yet, but it will be soon, so you know exactly where they are. But coming down Boones Creek Road, you turn into Cracker Barrel, the strip center right here to the left with different businesses in it. On the end will be the Sign Up Soon Movement Mortgage, the big, as you see in the background, the big double M. So good stuff, and we appreciate him very much, and welcome aboard.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for coming, and I'll look forward to seeing you again.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy right there. He is top shelf. I know his daddy, we go back a long way, and again, he is top shelf. We appreciate him very, very much. That's our friend again, our buddy McClure Boyd. Before we get out of here, let's run down. Coming up on Friday, we got a Midnight Madness sale coming up. We're going to be live at Food City on Eastman Road. Again, speaking of Food City and the late Ed Moore, that was his store. Of course, it's now Tommy's store, the Turtle Man. But we're going to be there broadcasting live again on Friday with the Midnight Madness sale. Here's some of the specials we can tell you about already, man. They're going to be hopping. They are going to be hopping for sure. This got some dandies here. Stouffer's party size lasagna just in time for the holidays. Again, $9.99, limit 2 with a Food City value card. Value time paper towels, 8 rolls, 3 for $10, limit 12. Also, they're going to have jumbo pack split chicken breast, 79 cents per pound. Also coming up, these are all Food Cities. We'll be at Food City on Eastman Road on Friday. Folgers Country Roast Coffee, limit 2, 31-ounce container for $5.49. If you're a connoisseur of coffee, that's a no-brainer. Harvest Club Jumbo Baking Potatoes, 8-pound bag for $2.99 on Friday. Also, you have Duncan Hines Cake Mix, 15-ounce box, 89 cents, limit 4. We told you the countdown to Christmas. We're down to 60 days, so a lot of folks will be buying these particular products and kind of setting them back, getting ready for the holidays, because Christmas is not that far away. If you make a lot of cakes and do a lot of baking with the folks coming in town, you'd want to certainly take advantage of that. Had some of these just the other day. Michigan John & Gold apples, 5-pound bag for $2.99. That'll be coming up on Friday. You take a knife and slice them and put a little peanut butter on those slices of apple. Goes down easy. Good stuff. Terry's Variety Pack Chips, 18 variety potato chips to a box for $4.99, limit 2. General Mills cereal, that's Cheerios and Trix and Lucky Charms and Cinnamon Toast Crunch and on and on and on. Limit 4 for $1.99. So some great specials coming up again on Friday at all Food Cities across the chain for the Midnight Madness sales. So it's going to be a big, big day, and we'll be there again at Food City on Eastman Road helping to promote that. We're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Our guest today, we want to say thanks to Jeremy Livesey. Of course, he runs the show here at Movement Mortgage, and also McClure Boyd. Thank you, my friend, for coming by here. Greg Salyer, the Major League Baseball update. Also, Eric Kistner, the president of the Northeast Tennessee Association of Realtors. All these folks stopped by. We appreciate that very, very much. Tomorrow, got a treat. We always have treats, and tomorrow's going to be a neat treat from me. A young man's going to come be with us. The voice of the East Tennessee State Buccaneers, Jay Santos, will be with us tomorrow from Champion Chevrolet. Also, we're going to be joined by our buddy Shannon from Hardee's to, again, update the very latest on the Hardee's Classic, which is inside of a month now, getting ready for that big event. And so we're looking forward to talking to you about that. It's going to be right at a month for the Hardee's Classic, and she'll be by tomorrow. Also, we'll have Dave Angie come by, and I got a couple of other guests, including Andy Dietrich, and I'm sure the Queen will be there, Kristen Martin from Champion Chevrolet as well. So we're looking forward to being there tomorrow. Then tomorrow night from 6 to 8, another big night of the Champion Chevrolet 5-Star Football Preview Show, and so we're looking forward to being there for that as well, coming up on Friday. On tomorrow night from 6 until 8, and then Friday we'll be at Food City on Eastman Road in Kingsport. So for Jeremy Livesey, McClure Boyd, and for Brittany Kasem, this is Tom Taylor again saying thank you for giving us a listen. Like it and share it. Also be sure and go back and check out the Sean Witten Coaches Show. Like it and share it as well, and we will thank you for that. And a big thank you as always to Jeremiah Clark and Michael Smith from Appalachian Digital, our tech folks that make this thing go, and we appreciate them so very, very much. So until tomorrow at 11 o'clock from Champion Chevrolet, this is Tom Taylor telling you as always, win or lose, be a good sport. And so long, everybody.